I didn't watch this video a whole lot. I mean, I barely looked at it, so I don't really know what it say. But I guess it's talking about the Cam Newton stuff. Please check out my other live. I think it was the Monday one where I watched the whole Cam Newton interview. Um, it was okay. But I said some certain things. I hope you guys checked it out. Hope you guys like it. So check out that live on it was like 2 lives ago, right? Check that out. So let's check this. What she says.
Eric, I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I
You're
just
saying,
want
or
God
by
to
your
bring
wife?
them. I just want God to bring them.
I remember years ago when I had Twitter, I said that Future was mentally ill for having so many baby mamas, and I got so much backlash for it, but I never thought I was wrong about that take. And this guy, Cam Newton, I'm not very familiar with him. I don't watch sports, so I don't really give a fuck. But he's just another example of a mentally ill man who believes that just because he has enough money to provide for his children, it means he should have multiple children with multiple women. These dudes seriously fail to comprehend that having money to provide for your child is not the same as showing up in that child's life as a father.
Here's the thing, right? It's 4 minutes, so I'm probably not gonna let it play out and then react to it. So I'm just gonna react to it while it's playing. This is the misandry of women. This is the. She probably is mad that she's not one. Here's the thing. This is the misandry of women. I've said this before. This is why women don't have a logic bone in their body. Am I saying Cam Newton is, mentally stable? No. But I've said this, right? One toxic, irresponsible man. 3 toxic, irresponsible women. The math. It is worse that 3 people, right, would rather be baby mama to 1 man. And I think he has another one too. 4. I think he has 4. Let's not forget the Futures, the Nick Cannons. Those are 1 man, right? 1 man with multiple women agreeing to be baby mamas to these men. Hell, even Sierra was part of it. So, right? So this is the thing. These multiple women wanting to be baby mamas to these men. Few select men. Multiple women. So here's the thing. The insanity, the idiocy of her focusing on 1 man and not saying shit about the multiple women. That shows you the hypocrisy, the bias, right? She's just looking for a reason to blame men, to ridicule men, to say shit about men. Well, let's say this. Logically speaking, it is multiple women being idiots, being mentally ill, as she's saying. When it's only 1 man. 1 man that's mentally ill, as she wants to put it. While there's multiple women. So really, in all honesty, what does it make more sense? For you to talk about the multiple women or the 1 man?
But because they don't see children as living beings who are their own entities and have autonomy over their bodies, they don't care about showing up as a father in their lives. They've been programmed to think that all they need to do is provide financially. So to them, it makes perfect sense that just because they have so much money means it's okay for them to have so many kids with so many different women. I do think that's a mental illness.
Here's the thing, right? Obviously, she didn't listen to shit, too. If you watch the interview, he said those kids live with him. He said he's active in their kid's life. But all she thinks, this is what I'm saying, right? This is the misandry that women are pushing out. This is why men are fed up with women. This is the misandry you are putting out. You want to put a small clip and then make a whole story, a narrative around it. Because again, let's say this. I don't know the original study, right? But there was a study that said black men are one of the most active fathers. But no, let's paint an image of him being mentally ill, ignoring the women that chose this, right? Ignoring the women, the multiple women that wanted to be a baby mama to this man. But hey, let's just bash this man, and not even bash him correctly when you don't even hear the whole story. Literally, the man said he has these kids. He has these kids the majority of the time. These kids are living with him. He's there for these kids. He's taking these kids to their sport practices. He's active in these kids' lives. But no, let's ignore the shit he said that paint him as a good father, and then focus on the story that you're trying to make to paint him as a bad father.
Illness, because my dad wanted a lot of kids, but you know what he did? He had multiple kids with the same women. He had 10 kids with the same woman because he wanted to have a lot of kids. I don't understand why you have to constantly create so many new families just because you want to have so many.
What the hell is the difference then? You think like I said, right? His kids, Cam Newton's kids, supposedly, I don't know if it's true or not, he said it out of his mouth. He said that his kids live with him. 8 kids. So her story is her dad, who had 10 kids, is a better thing because he had one family? It's like... And here's the thing, right? I'm pretty sure Cam Newton is providing better than her family. Right? His kids, Cam Newton's kids, is begging for nothing. Right?
Kids. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. I think it really comes down to possession. Like, these dudes really believe that once a woman has their baby, she's his for life. And they don't really care about marriage because, like he said, something along the lines of, my fear of divorce is greater than my desire to get married. And I don't understand these women who are signing themselves up to be property for these dudes for literally nothing, for a paycheck. But you're doing all the rest of the work by yourself. You're being both parents to that child.
Where's her? She's a dingbat. What? It's like, for a paycheck, it's like, this is the thing where women, like, they're so delusional, right? You don't know this man's family. You don't know what he's doing. You're assuming he's not active. This is the thing where you're assuming the woman is doing everything. You're trying to paint the picture of the woman being a saint. I mean, maybe an idiotic saint, but you're trying to paint the woman into a better light.
Even though one of his parents is financially providing, you are showing up emotionally as the mother and the father, because the father cannot be in so many different places at once for all his kids and all his baby mamas.
His kids live with him. Please listen to the story. Please listen. That's why this is the problem with a lot of women. You listen to be triggered, to react. You don't listen to understand. Because again, you didn't hear nothing. You didn't hear anything. You heard multiple kids, multiple women. Boom. Let me go bash the man. Instead of listening, you know what? He has his kids. From his own mouth. He has his kids. He's taking care of his kids.
Not to mention, these women, when they have kids, like, they need emotional support as well. Like, being pregnant is such a huge deal. I think it's truly mentally ill to knock up so many women and then not even consider that they might be going through something once they have your child. Like, postpartum depression is real. And for you to...
In my personal opinion, it's not. Controversial. This may be, if I doubt women watch this shit, right? Controversial opinion. I don't think postpartum is real. Now, I think it's as real as, let's say this, as being depressed. But honestly, everyone and anyone can get depressed. To be all honest, postpartum is such a... How they paint it out, right? It's such a whack-ass shit. It's just a dump in hormones. In my opinion, right? Sue me if I'm wrong. But it's just a dump in hormones. So it's a fluctuation in emotions. Here's the thing. How people go about it, you're just weak. And there's nothing wrong with being weak. But it's like you don't have a control of your emotions. So really, ooh, okay, you're depressed. Great. The world doesn't owe you sympathy. Right? Wake up. Be an adult. You're nothing special being depressed. Wake up. I've been depressed, right? I have wanted to, I've had plenty of dark days, dark months. I wanted, the worst case scenarios, but I had to wake up. No one was there to pity me, and they shouldn't. Pitying somebody is not helping them, right? You need to get up and work and push through.
Move on to the next woman and start impregnating her right after you just had a baby with another woman. I'm not saying this is what Cam Newton did or what Future did, but this is what most of those guys will do. They will knock up multiple women in a row, or they'll have a baby and then they'll go get someone else pregnant right after their first baby mama has a baby or their second baby mama has a baby or whatever. Like, it's all mental illness. It's really mental illness.
It's crazy, right? It's funny that these women would say that's a mental illness, right? Here's another controversial opinion. Insane that these women will say that that is a mental illness to knock up a woman right after another woman, so on and so on. Yet none of them will say, none of these women will say that cross-dressing, right? Thinking yourself a woman, thinking yourself a man, isn't a mental illness. And yes, welcome to the 1%, boo. Let's say this, right? There's not many men that can do that. There's not many men that can do that, that can knock up one woman after another, and so on and so on. So, to be honest, even that's a rare man. Even that is a rare man in itself. But this is the thing where it's the hypocrisy. It's the delusion of women. You pick and choose what's a mental illness, right? When you want to bash men, it's a mental illness. Yeah, but you know what? Actual mental illness, you don't say shit about.
Believe you own these women, you don't believe children are their own entities who have autonomy over their lives, therefore you don't value them as human beings, therefore you think it's okay to not show up in their lives as a father. You think it's okay for your presence as a father to be limited to the amount of money that you're going to send the baby mama every single month. That's mental illness. And this is a particularly American mental illness because all around the world in different cultures, there are men who want to have multiple families. But you know what they will do? They will marry those women. They will have 2 wives, they will have 3 wives, they will have 4 wives. They will marry those women and they will have multiple children with multiple different women. Making it official with marriage matters. But because that's not legal in the United States, and these dudes don't want to marry just one woman, they are...
Why would it matter? Why would it matter? This is the thing, right? Why would it matter? This is the insanity of women. It's a piece of paper. What does it change? How much money he gives them? Cam Newton, Future, Nick Cannon probably still gives them a lot of money. What does it matter? It's like the piece of... This is the idiocy of a lot of women, or this woman in particular. Having the marriage certificate does not mean he's more of an active father. Right? Because again, here's a woman that did not even listen to the man she's trying to bash. That man says his kids are living with him. He's taking care of his kids. And yet, she thinks a marriage certificate will signify the man to be more active in the child's life. That's BS. 100% BS. Because again, a marriage certificate does not equate a good father.
Are going around impregnating multiple women, claiming that it's fulfilling some sort of need of theirs. I don't know what kind of fucking need.
And that's probably right? The only reason is that if they feel like divorcing, now they have incentive.
fulfilling, but it's fulfilling some sort of need. Meanwhile, they're just creating children who are going to be traumatized for life because they didn't have a very active father. I don't know, man. None of this bullshit makes any sense to me, and I stand on what I said years ago about Future. He's fucking mentally ill. The other guy, Nick Cannon, mentally ill. This guy, mentally ill. It's mental illness. These dudes need to be...
These dudes. Three guys. Let's say this, right? I don't know the exact number, but 3 guys. Let's combine all their baby moms. Most likely, more than 20 women, right? I'm assuming, right? I think probably about 15 women or so, right? Future, Cam Newton about 4. I think Nick Cannon about 4 or 5. I think Future is about, I don't know, also 4 or 5. So really, these 3 men are mentally ill, yet barely a mention of the women that chose to be with these men, chose to be baby mamas to these men. I guarantee you, she ain't bashing Sierra, right? A woman that chose to be the 3rd, the 4th baby mama to the man, right? Sierra chose to be the 3rd or 4th baby mama to Future. No bashing towards her, right? That the sisterhood, but yet you bash the men that these women willingly chose to be baby mamas to. These women didn't stipulate, oh, you need to marry me before having kids. No. None of these women did. Not even Sierra. Okay? Not even Sierra. And yet, these men are mentally ill. See, that's the thing, right? That is the misandry of women. That is the hypocrisy. That is the delusion of women. Because, like this is the thing, right? Both men or women, I'm going to call you out on your illogical behaviors. Yet, women constantly show their biased hate. They constantly show their biased hate. Absolutely ridiculous. This is sad. This is why, even though she's decently looking, right? 6, maybe a 7, probably a 6. The feminist ideology have made women just undesirable, right? Undesirable. This is why the players, the bad boys, the Chaz Tyrone just pump and dump these women. That's why these women are having a hard time on the dating market, because of their delusional ideologies. Absolutely. And this is what I'm saying, right? This is what I'm saying. Why, at the beginning, why I said that these women, these strong, independent women, right? As they get older, it only gets worse. You think this woman will follow a man's lead? You think this woman will bring a man peace? You think this woman will, how she treat a man, right? Imagine how she would treat a man. So really, it's like, it will only get worse as she age. That's why I said, why women become bigger red flags as they age. Because again, they don't get better with age. They don't. They get worse. The ideologies that they have gets more ingrained, right? The bitterness gets bitter, gets more bitter, right? The jadedness, the attitude, the combativeness, it gets worse over time. It does not get better, right? No woman that's really dominant, that's combative, that's argumentative, that's chaotic, they don't become submissive with time. So, yeah. What do you guys think?